I know I am not the only one pulling back these covers and trying to find something green, like anything green. It is February and it's still cold out here. Everything you see back here, every tree, every vine, every single bed, my husband and I planted ourselves. And when we started back in 2020, there was nothing back here but just grass. And that's why we purchased this property. And we built this with our own hands, because if you don't know, we have 4 babies and we don't get out much. And we wanted to create a space that we can enjoy without having to go out and feel like we need to go on vacation. We wanted to build our vacation back here. So seeing all of this brown, man, it hurts to the core, but we're not stopping. We aren't stopping. We put way too much sweat and tears to just like, we ain't doing this no more. No, because we're not going to let one little freeze take us out. We've been through worse. I'm born and raised in Florida. So if you've been through Andrew, you can get through this. I promise you, you can. Hi, I am Tony. I grow here in Central Florida, Zone 10A. So it started with one single watermelon seed back here. When I first planted it, didn't know it was going to grow into anything, and it took off. That one seed changed the way I look at gardening. I went from a hobby gardener to growing food for my family. And it's not going to stop because of this cold. In fact, it's more important now because you and your backyard was not the only place that got hit. Commercial farms all around us in Florida got hit too, and they had to lay off thousands of employees because of that. And we know exactly what that means. That cost is going to move straight into the grocery stores, and this is not the time to quit because it's going to get expensive. So if you're new to gardening, I want you to join me. You are coming in at a great time because we're going to rebuild this together. Your garden, my garden, our garden together after this frost. Because I have read all of your comments. I have seen all of the videos about the devastation of this frost and what it have done to your gardens. And I feel it right along with you because I'm here. Central Florida gets hit, I don't know, with the cold, the heat, and the hurricane. So I want you to know this ain't gonna take us out. So let's get going. Before we even get into this, I have a question for you. Why did you start gardening to begin with? What was your purpose? Was it hobbying? Was it to feed your family? What was that reason? And I want you to put it in the comments below because I want you to remember the reason you started gardening, because you're going to need to hold on to that as we go through this recovery process. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I have my moments. I was on the verge of tears, but that's not gonna get my garden back. Sitting inside talking about what the frost did to my garden, that's not gonna help me. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna roll up my sleeves. You know what? I'm gonna take off my sweater and I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna get all of my stuff ready, and I'm getting my Oasis back. I'm getting my garden back. I'm not letting this thing take over me. So if you ready to do the same thing, come on. So this looks pretty bad. It looks pretty ugly, but I am not going to prune it back yet. I am not going to dig it up yet. The first thing you want to do is a scratch test. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the base of the tree. So if you come in with me here. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the base of the tree. So I'm going to go right over here and just scratch it right over here. Scratch it over here and see that this tree is alive. It has green. So this is good. It's going to come back. So I'm not worried about this tree. So even if you do the scratch test, I still don't want you to pull it just yet. You can wait until mid-March to see if the tree is truly dead, because it is just a waiting game. It's patience. So if you don't see green and you scratch it, it may be dead, but it may have some sign of life underneath. So don't rush and prune. Don't rush and pull it up. Give it some time to recover. Give it some time to show you signs it's still alive. So the second thing I'm doing, if you haven't seen, is I have my seed book ready. I am not waiting until the garden starts to grow to actually start my seeds. I am excited to try some new things. I have some new tomatoes that I want to try this season. And what I'm most excited about is our seed library is opening back up because it's warming back up outside. If you never heard of a seed library, it's usually a spot in your local public library where you can check out seeds for free. For my seed library, you can check out 5. So you will grow them, and then at the end of the season, you can bring them back, the seeds from your harvest, to keep your library growing. It is a game changer when you're starting over and you want to try something new. These are great local seeds that most likely did well in your area. So check those out. Some other things that I'm doing is I'm getting my supplies ready to go. I have my Vigo trays and I am buying a lot of my supplies in bulk. So this is a good time for me to order these supplies online and get them shipped to me. So when the weather actually start playing nice, I have them nice and ready. So now if you want some quick wins and you want to see something that's going to boost you up, you can get you some radishes in the ground. They usually take 30 days before you can actually harvest them. So this is a great one to put down to get you gardening again. Now, one thing that I want to make sure you don't miss, get your flower seeds ready, because they bring in the pollinators, but honestly they are one of the greatest things to boost your spirit when everything looks brown and you need that pop of color to remind you that life is coming back. This one keeps your head back in the game. So whether it's your marigolds or your zinnias, get you some flowers to bring some pretty back in the garden. Another quick win for us is pigeon peas that I saved from last season, and papayas. Papayas, you can get fruit within that year. So if you lost your papaya tree and it's looking very iffy right now, you can start getting your papaya seeds out and ready. I'll be sending out some papaya and pigeon peas to some of my members. I'll put the information in the description below so you can join. Another quick and cheap win, cassava cuttings. Saved these right before the frost. We cut our plant down, and you can find some at your local garden groups, some of your neighbors, your friends. It takes about 9 months for the roots to be ready, but you can still see the green leaves push in about 2 to 3 weeks. So this one is great. Also, this one I forgot was here, some sugar cane. I'm gonna try to see if I can plant this back down. I have given a sugar cane cutting away as part of our plant giveaways, and she showed me the plant and it was thriving. It had pushed out roots within 2 weeks. So that's another quick win. So you might not be able to eat from the sugar cane right away or the cassava right away, but they're great fillers if you're trying to get that vibrant green backyard back again. And they're cheap and they're just great fillers. And it's not just cassava. You can use your sweet potato slips, or if you have chia, or some longevity spinach like this one we saved from the frost. And these are things that bring back life to the garden without breaking the bank. So those are some great quick wins to add as well. So number 3, I got my buckets ready. These same buckets that was protecting my trees, I am using them for fertilizer. I'm collecting my weeds, I'm collecting the dead leaves that fell off of my trees, and I'm putting them in this bucket. I am making sure I will add some water into this bucket so I can have this ready in the next few days or a week or so. And it may stink, so just I'm warning you, it can stink. But also I have my fish fertilizer that I'm getting ready as well. So when I see some new growth, I am ready with some food to give to my plants, to give them a fighting chance. Because watering is great, but if you don't feed them, they ain't gonna do nothing. I'm going to get these buckets ready. I have quite a few around my yard now, making sure I collect all those weeds and making sure I don't feed them too early, because it is a waste. So once I start to see some growth, which can take about 2 weeks or so, I'll start to feed my plants. You can feed them early. I just don't want to waste my nutrients on dead plants. So before the heats come back, this is a great time to do a few things. Is making sure you have your drip irrigation set up before the heat kicks in, because once it gets too hot, you're not going to want to be out there watering every single day. This is a mess. This is a hot mess that I have going on, and I need to fix it. So while it's cool, I'll be setting up my irrigation, making sure I have all of my parts and everything ready to go, because I have new beds here. This doesn't fit, so I don't want to be out here every single day, maybe twice a day, because we go from cold to extremely hot just like that. Make sure you check your irrigation as well, because you may have some setups around your trees, but this cold could have caused some damage. This is a great time to make sure they're up and running, because when you start them up and it's hot and it ain't working, another heartbreak. So check your lines, check your irrigation, or get your beds ready for this upcoming season. So I know you want to water, but I want to remind you that stressed plants aren't drinking like they normally do. So keeping the soil soggy will cause root rot before they even have a chance to recover. So most of us, our frost dates are in mid-February. So you want to save that plant energy for when the weather truly is better. And then you can just test your soil before you go out there and overwater. Let me show you that really quick. So I wanted to show you guys, this is my sweet potato patch, and it looks like it's nothing here because I buried it under mulch. So if I move this back, that's a weed. Look at that. I still got leaves under here popping up. It was so deep. Look at that. See, so there's green under there. It's still working and it's still soaked. So it's pretty wet. I'm not going to water this right now. So it looks dead. There's some of the roots on my roots on my sweet potatoes look dead. There's still life underneath here and it will still come up. It is deeply buried. So that's what saved my sweet potatoes. And I also, look at that. They're under here. There is life. It is also wet. You can see. I'm gonna let it get some sun today. I'm taking off. Tomorrow we're supposed to get in the 40s, high 40s. I'm gonna still cover this up tonight because we're supposed to get in the 30s still tonight. But after tomorrow, I plan on removing all of my covers, taking them off and wrapping them up for the year. But I want to show you this also. I buried my tomatoes under mulch and look at that. I have 2 little tomatoes on here, but this made it through the cold. I barely covered it. Look at those greens. This is the most exciting thing I've seen so far, that this made it through all of that. And some of my trees are acting brand new. So most sensitive plant is still out here thriving. I have another one buried right under here, and I'm gonna give it another day. So if I push back this soil here, you see how wet this soil is. So if I go ahead and water it some more, I'm just gonna cause rot damage or rot to this tomato. So just check your soil before you think if I overwater it, it'll fix your plants. But this is a win. I'm excited to see this. I did this for a few of my plants and that's pretty cool. Number 5 is don't rush to replace. I know you want to run out there in nurseries and get everything back. Most of them may look dead. Our bananas look horrible right now. It looks like someone took a match and just tossed it and walked away. But we know bananas are very strong and their rhizomes are underground and you can see some new growth in a few weeks. So before you go and rip those off, give them a chance. But this is also some great time to reevaluate your space. For instance, I have the citrus tree. It's doing great. I have some other citrus trees that don't look too good, but this one did great, but it also don't produce any fruit. It has no reason to be in my garden. So this is a great time for me to move it and put another sensitive tree that needs the protection from the wall, that needs the protection from the other side. That I have another tree right next to it. It's providing a great microclimate for me. I have some trees that's underneath a big oak tree that didn't have any issues. So understanding what sensitive plants need to go where, and also what plants that don't belong in our ground. I mentioned this before. We push our zones a lot in Central Florida in this zone 10A, and I'm gonna do that. For instance, I'm gonna grow my soursop in pots. Or this is also a good time to see where you have open spaces. So open spaces is a prime hit for hurricanes, for the extreme heat, and also for cold. So these open spaces may need more protection. So you can put pigeon peas, or you can add areca palms. We're putting some more palms around certain trees that extra protection, that needs that extra layer that it doesn't have. For instance, we have a mango tree that keeps getting hit. It gets hits for hurricanes, it gets hits for the cold, but it loves the spot because it's very sunny. So I'm not technically going to move it. What we are going to do, we're going to add some extra layers around it. One thing is, I learned my lesson. The last cold, or one of the worst colds we had a few years ago, is soursop do not like this zone, but I refuse to accept that. So I'm put that in our bigger pots, and I'm making sure that I'm not putting it in the ground. It doesn't matter where I put it in my backyard, it's not going to survive. It doesn't matter how much I cover it, it's not going to survive this cold. So I'm making sure I'm growing those crops that I'm pushing on the edge, I'm putting them in pots. I'm gonna still grow them, but in pots. Because it can be a hurricane, it can be cold or too much rain. I will lift that pot up and move it right in my patio. I don't care. I'm growing it. I'm not giving up. I'm still growing it. So I know you can see my bougainvillea tree behind me. My plant looks dead. I know it's gonna come back. Am I giving up? It may come back, it may not. It's all right. It's a tree. I'm not going to stop gardening because it's all dead. It's all right. I'm going to keep going. It's motivation to give me something to do. I buy another tree. It's all right. Because at the end of the day, we have put too much heart, much money into these trees so that one freeze take us out. To be all frustrated and just want to give up, that's not going to happen here. So we're going to get our garden right back, and you're going to soon see your brown turn into green. This is your time to actually get your garden back to how you want it. A lot of times you moved into a house and some of the things were already there before when you got there. This is your time to actually build your garden how you want. Go grab your seeds, get your trays ready, get your mix together. I'm gonna make sure I add everything I'm sharing in the description below so you can have it ready. We're gonna be planted together, whether that's putting trees in the ground together or starting your seed trays. We're gonna be doing this together because sometimes you need someone to hold your hands, and I got you. So drop it in the comments below. Let me know what seeds you're grabbing today. What are you most excited to start growing this season? And till next time, thanks for watching. Bye.